A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a striking week of political turmoil, President Donald Trump has faced increasing scrutiny over his actions that some experts are labeling as authoritarian. Speaking from the Oval Office, Trump asserted, "I'm not a dictator. I don't like a dictator," a statement that comes on the heels of his controversial decision to deploy armed National Guard troops to the streets of Washington, D.C. This move was justified by Trump as necessary to combat crime, despite widespread evidence suggesting otherwise. Critics argue that these actions are not typical of a democratic leader, raising the question, is Trump, in fact, a dictator? The backdrop of this debate includes Trump's threats to withhold billions of dollars from universities, a politically charged FBI raid on the home of John Bolton, and aggressive actions against law firms that oppose him. The Federal Communications Commission, under a Trump appointee, is investigating major broadcast networks, excluding Fox News, a channel known for its pro-Trump stance. Moreover, Trump has taken legal action against news outlets that report unfavorably about him, and has dismissed government officials for releasing data he disagrees with. In an alarming pattern, Trump has also threatened to prosecute political opponents and demanded investigations into former President Barack Obama for treason. This series of actions has led many to view Trump as operating outside the bounds of democratic norms. Kim Lane Skepely, a Princeton University sociology professor with a focus on autocracies, stated unequivocally, "Yes, of course, Trump exhibits dictatorial behavior." She noted the mobilization of the National Guard as a clear indication of a shift towards authoritarianism, aimed at suppressing dissent. As Trump continues to threaten military action in Democratic-run cities such as Chicago, Baltimore, San Francisco, and New York City, the outcry from political opponents has intensified. Skepely warns that Trump appears to be assembling a repressive force to quell any resistance to his rule. This is a stark contrast to modern dictators who often attempt to disguise their intentions. Leaders like Vladimir Putin and Viktor Orban have gone to great lengths to present themselves as legitimate leaders rather than tyrants. But Trump seems unfazed by such perceptions. Recent events have included a dramatic display of power with a military parade in Washington, D.C., coinciding with the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, where Trump expressed dissatisfaction over the troops not appearing menacing enough. This spectacle, coupled with a banner draped over the Department of Labor building featuring Trump, has left many observers unsettled. Stephen Levitsky, co-author of the best-selling book How Democracies Die, argues that while Trump exhibits characteristics of a classic tin-pot dictator, he has not yet fully consolidated power in that manner. He asserts that the U.S. is slipping into a form of authoritarianism, but it has not devolved into outright dictatorship. Levitsky emphasizes that while Trump claims he is not a dictator, he simultaneously suggests that many Americans might prefer a dictator if it means a reduction in crime. This sentiment raises further questions about the American electorate's historical leanings toward authoritarianism. Levitsky points out that there have always been segments of the U.S. population that lean authoritarian, a trend that appears to have gained traction within the Republican Party under Trump's leadership. He describes a troubling performative aspect of this authoritarianism, suggesting that it appeals to a significant constituency. The comparison to 21st-century authoritarian regimes is striking. Countries like Venezuela, Hungary, and Turkey exhibit hybrid regimes where democratic processes exist, but the playing field is heavily tilted against opposition parties. The systematic abuse of power in these nations makes them functionally undemocratic, a scenario Levitsky fears could become the norm in the United States. As Trump continues to wield emergency powers to justify various policies, including immigration measures and tariffs, there looms a potential risk of undermining constitutional processes. Levitsky cautions that while a complete dictatorship is not yet a reality, the likelihood of a milder form of authoritarianism is increasing, characterized by widespread abuse of power and systematic violations of rights. The implications of this political landscape are profound. With the midterm elections approaching, both parties are gearing up for a contentious electoral season that could reflect the public's sentiment toward Trump's leadership. As Americans grapple with the unsettling reality of their political climate, the question remains, how much longer can the fabric of democracy withstand the pressures of authoritarianism? That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.